Hi, we're going to talk about the law of cosines. Law of cosines is just another formula. These are the formulas for the sides. I broke it down so you have one formula for each side, A, B, and C. In order to solve for a side, you need to have two sides and the angle between them to solve it. So some very specific stuff here. Make sure you write this down in your notes to have it for future reference. All right, so let's look at this. So it says find side B when A is 8, C is 5, and B is 77. So the first thing we need to know is that B squared equals A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cosine of B. And then let's highlight what's going where. So here's A, right? So my 8 needs to go here and here. Here's my C, and that needs to go here and here. And this is my angle, B, and that needs to go right in there. So when we fill out our formula, it would read B squared equals 8 squared plus 5 squared minus 2. Fill out some stuff here. Put an 8 there. We're going to put a 5 here, and our angle goes out here. So hopefully you can see where everything gets put in and how I did it. Next thing I want you to do is now how are we going to solve this whole big thing? To make sure we're going to do it right, we're going to take these two numbers first, and we are going to plug them into our calculator. You're going to tell me that 8 squared plus 5 squared is 89. That's 89. We're going to do minus, and then I would want you to do this part here alone. So 2 times 8 times 5, and you're going to tell me that's 80, and the cosine of 77. Now that we're here, you're going to type that whole thing in. So into your calculator, you're going to say 89 minus 80 times the cosine of 77. You're going to tell me that B squared equals 71.0039. You're going to say B is equal to the square root of that. So on your calculator, do 71.0039, the square root, and tell me that B is equal to 8.426. So there's my side measure. Let's look at another one. This time it says find side C. Tells me what B is, A is, and angle C. Remembering that C squared equals B squared plus A squared minus 2AB cosine of C. Did I write that in the right order? Whatever, A and B are switched, but that's all right. So now let's look at this. Again, let's look at A. So here's my A, right? A goes here and right here. Here's my B. Goes here and right here. And then my angle. No, your order doesn't matter over here. It's fine. So C squared equals 10 squared plus 16 squared minus 2 times 16 times 10, and then 116 goes in here. Again, this gets done, this gets done, and then we'll plug it into our calculator. So 10 squared plus 16 squared, that's going to give me 356 minus, and then 2 times 16 times 10, that's going to give me 320. All right, 2 times 16 times 10, yes, so we're going to get 320. and then it's going to be cosine of 116. Type that whole thing into your calculator. 356 minus 320 cosine of 116. We get 496.2787. You're going to find the square root of that. And you're going to tell me C is 22.277. That works. So there's my side C. Okay, so now we're going to look at these formulas, and these are used to find an angle. And again, I broke them down for each angle. Again, I want you to write these in your notebook so you can have them for future reference. In order to use the law of cosines to solve for an angle, I need all three sides. So let's look at one. I want you to find angle A, and I give you B, C, and A. So we need to remember that the cosine of A equals B squared plus C squared minus A squared all over 2BC. So let's do some marking here. So let's go with A. It's here, it goes only there. B goes here and right there. And my C goes here and right there. So now let's fill out my formula. It says cosine of A equals, this would be 15 squared plus 8.3 squared, let's do U, squared plus, nope, minus, that one's a minus, 20 squared divided by 2, and it's going to be 15 and 8.3. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the top three numbers, and we're going to multiply them together. We're going to do 15 squared plus 8.3 squared minus 20 squared, and you're going to tell me that's a negative 106.11. We're going to divide that by, now let's do this bottom part here all together. So 2 times 15 times 8.3, and we're all doing this in our calculator. We get 249. All right, so now I want to find the angle. So you're going to do cosine -1. So that might mean that you have to do second cosine on your calculator to pull that up. But that's what it should look like, and this should be 106.11 divided by 249. Put that in and hit enter, so negative 106.11 divided by 249, close your parenthesis. You should tell me that it's 115.223 degrees, and there is my angle C. Okay? Let's look at this one, and it says angle B. So we're going to find the cosine of B is going to be A squared plus C squared minus B squared all over 2AC. Let's highlight what we know. So here is A, and A. Here's my B. I'll put my B in, and then my C. Put it here. And then we're going to plug in. So we're going to go cosine of B equals, what do we have? 70 squared plus 40.5 squared minus 90 squared divided by 2, and this is 70 and 40.5. Again, we're going to do the top here, and that's 70 squared plus 40.5 squared minus 90 squared. That's going to give me negative 5,559.75. I know it's ugly, it's fine. Divided by, and do the bottom here. So 2 times 70 times 40.5, and you get 5,670. Cosine -1, put that fraction in on your calculator. Okay, you do second and cosine, pull up that cosine -1, -1, 559.75 divided by 5670, and you get 105.967 degrees. So there is your angle C. Okay, if you have questions, again, join our Google Meet, email me something, and I will help you with that. So now we're going to talk about Heron's formula. It's another way to find area. It's if I'm given 3 sides of a triangle. So what happens is the formula states that it's this. It's the square root of s times s minus a times s minus b times s minus c, where a, b, and c are the sides of your triangle. And s is half of the sum of all your sides together, so half of your perimeter. So you have to find s first, then the formula. So let's look at one. So it says find the area of the triangle where A is 8, B is 11, C is 5. So the very first thing we need to do is we need to find S, and that's going to equal 1/2, and then it's going to be, this is my A, my B, my C, so it's 1/2 8 plus 11 plus 5, okay? So S equals 1/2 of, this is 8 plus 11 plus 5, half of 24, so you're going to tell me S equals 12. We use that in our formula, so